What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Random SEC. This is Andrew,
And this is Garrett.
and we are going to be breaking down our initial reactions to the Week 11 college football playoff rankings. These are the first playoff rankings thus far, and let's just go ahead and get into it. Starting off at number 1 is, to no surprise,
The
Ohio State Buckeyes.
That is correct.
No surprise here. Undefeated, reigning champs, taking care of business all year.
Yeah.
I don't have much to say about that one, to be honest.
Well, they look dominant. They beat the previous number one team, Texas, so
Well,
they must be good, right?
That's the only thing. Honestly, that's kind of holding them back. Texas they're looking better now, but they didn't look too great and barely won that game. But it was week 1.
Michigan isn't looking that bad, and that's their final game of the year.
Should be interesting. They haven't won that game in a while.
Yeah.
It's an interesting way to close out the season here for Ohio State. Let's see how they do it.
I don't think
Do they play Indiana?
They do not know.
Oh no, so
We'll
have to see that in the Big Ten championship game. But speaking of Indiana, number 2,
Who? Hoosiers are number 2. Both of them beat up on Illinois pretty well. But yeah, Indiana has just clobbered every team. They just don't beat teams. They beat the poo-poo out of them.
Yeah, it's been a surprising story for Indiana for sure, but they kind of just make it seem like it's normal that they're this good the way they beat down opponents week after week.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Honestly, they've been the most dominant team this year. I mean, given their schedules isn't the hardest, but still the way they've taken care of business is nothing short of a number 2 ranking.
Well, your average Big Ten schedule. Just clobber on Indiana State.
Yeah. Nothing to take away from them. They beat number 3 Oregon at Oregon.
Yeah, that was a great win.
A giant win. But yeah, the rest of the year should be a cruise for them till they get to the Big Ten championship the way they've been playing.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and move to number 3. The SEC is represented here with 4 teams,
undefeated team in the
with
SEC.
the only undefeated team in the SEC, the Texas A&M Fighting Aggies. 8-0, number 3. How do you feel about this?
It feels like 2016 when the very first college football playoff rankings got released, and Texas A&M was 4th. Well, no, very first of the year in 2016.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Not the very first one. The very first one was 2014. But it feels good. This is rare air I get to breathe, and I'm enjoying every second of it. Both Indiana and Texas A&M doing this good. Whew. Great stuff.
Yeah, Texas A&M definitely been impressive this year. They've kind of played that physical, old school SEC ball, and have, as we've talked about before, found numerous ways to win. And they beat a lot of good teams. But sitting at number 4, you've got Alabama, another SEC team.
Every time they play us, they just fire their head coaches. Billy Napier. To be fair, Sam Pittman was fired before we played them.
Oh, and then LSU.
LSU.
Yeah.
And Auburn. So.
Well, yeah, Auburn fired their coach way after they played y'all, though.
Yeah. That was decently early in the season. All right.
Moving on to Alabama, another SEC team here. And there have been some fair debates on who's better, Alabama or A&M. Both teams playing lights out, but Alabama does have that one loss, and it seems like they're this year very much weighing in that undefeated status. If you're undefeated, they're going to put you at the top because that's an impressive feat in today's college football world, and I cannot blame them.
Yeah. I mean, undefeated in SEC, but they lost to Florida State early in the season. But throughout the rest of the schedule, they handled business, and from the eye test, Alabama looks more impressive than Texas A&M. I'll admit that.
Although they did struggle with South Carolina last game.
They did. But,
not unbeatable.
They've had a brutal time. They've been playing a lot. And they just got a bye week, so I think going into LSU, they're going to be in better shape, and they're going to close out the year strong.
I would tend to agree. Yeah, Alabama has LSU next at home. Who does A&M have next year?
Missouri.
So that
with an injured quarterback. So that's
interesting games. Both teams should handle business here end out the season, and hopefully, we can see them meet in the SEC championship, and that could possibly determine who will be 3 and who will be 4, who will get that bye, if not both of them get that bye. But it
Yeah.
should be interesting to see two SEC teams in the top 4. The SEC does not disappoint in this first week's college football rankings.
Yeah.
We currently have 4 teams in the field.
And 2
Two
with a
who are
bye.
very
If it
close.
started right now, we'd have 2 SEC teams with a bye. Oh, so I guess we should really, you know, tell our viewers about that too. So how it works this year is 12 teams make it to the college football playoffs. After last year, it's only the top 4 ranked teams that get a bye, and
Yeah.
regardless of conference, Notre Dame's a special kid, and Notre Dame doesn't have a conference, so maybe they're good enough to have a bye. Probably not this year, but they changed those rules, and now the play-in games are 12 plays 5 and 9 plays 8, 11 plays 6, 10 plays 7. I'm pretty sure you're still required to have a group of 5 team though, right?
You are
To
still
participate.
required to have a group of 5 teams. So if you're unfamiliar with how last year went down, last year there were 4 automatic buys for the highest seeded conference champions. So it could be SEC, ACC, Big Ten, and Big 12. That's what you would usually think it would be. Or it could have a group of 5. If a group of 5 team is ranked higher than the Big 12 champion or the ACC champion, they would be higher. Last year that was the case because Boise State did have a bye and they were a group of 5 team. But this year, it's just purely top 4 teams get a bye. I like that a lot better. I don't think we should be handing out buys to teams that don't fully deserve it.
Yeah, of other conferences too.
But yeah, if you win your conference championship, you are an automatic bid, not an automatic bye. Same thing with one group of 5 team; they will automatically make it.
Good.
That's just a breakdown
Yeah.
of how this is gonna work.
All right. Thanks for explaining that, Andrew. Moving on to the 5th ranked team, the SEC again, the Georgia Bulldogs.
Can't argue with this. Georgia has handled business this year, despite the Alabama loss.
A close loss, by the
A
way, by 3
close loss
points.
and a loss that just seems to happen every year. They cannot get over that hump. But other than that, they've handled business in SEC play, out of conference play, have been very impressive. Have a decently hard schedule coming out here though. Ending the season, they have at Mississippi State. That's no gimme. Texas, Charlotte should be a gimme, and Georgia Tech. So it's by no means a.
Georgia Tech looks very defeatable now. No?
Well, they did just lose to NC State,
Yeah, they
but
lost to NC State.
don't overlook them. They're a playoff caliber team, in my opinion. They almost beat Georgia last year,
Canes
and they were like
King.
6-6. So
Yeah.
this is a rivalry that should be a good game. Georgia's, they're number 5. They're sitting pretty. They should handle business. They should be in there, but it's by no means a lock. They have a little bit of a treacherous road ahead. So it's not as a lock as Alabama or Texas A&M.
So if Georgia beats Texas, right? And then Texas beats Texas A&M. Yeah, no, it was still. Would
No,
Georgia be in that SEC championship game in that case? No, they already have a lost to Alabama.
it,
No, yeah, they would only have
there's
one
a lot of
loss.
factors. So if that happened, Texas A&M would have 1 loss. Alabama would have 0 losses. Georgia would have 1 loss,
Yeah,
and Texas would have 1 loss. You'd have a 3-way tie
yeah,
for the second SEC
yeah, but
champion.
there would be tiebreakers
There
because
would be tiebreakers, but Ole Miss is also in this mix. I think they would probably be making it over all 3 of those teams.
if they win out, that is.
Yeah.
Dang, that's a crazy situation.
There's this, yeah. The
That's a
SEC
chance for a
championship game
lot
is
of
is
chaos.
wide open right now, wide open.
Yeah,
But if as Texas A&M and Alabama both went out, then it'll be them. But I don't see that happening, to be quite honest.
yeah. I, I mean, I still think Texas could be Texas A&M. I think they're going to win that game.
It's
Missouri
yeah.
could also topple them, but I think
And
Texas A&M is
Alabama,
going to
and
win
they
that
have some
one.
tough games coming here.
Yeah.
But yeah, moving on to number 6.
Okay. Another?
Another one.
That's right. It's the Ole Miss Rebels.
This
With-
is your 4th and final SEC team. I didn't realize that they were all
bunched up like
bunched
that.
up like this.
Okay.
It's
There's
not
more down
surprising.
the list, but yeah.
But yeah, these are the 4 that, if the playoffs started today, they would make it. Ole Miss, yeah. I mean, just been an impressive season for them. It doesn't feel like they're a playoff team, but you look at their resume down the
Only
line.
lost to Georgia,
They
man.
they've proven it time and time again, and
What are you talking about? Lane Kiffin is
they
doing great.
they have a favorable schedule coming out.
Yes.
Um, yeah, it's just wild times we live in. Trinidad Chambliss, just balling out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good luck to them versus the Citadel.
yeah. Don't overlook the Citadel. South Carolina fans know. Um,
And we got
Number 7,
BYU, the Cougars.
one of the few undefeated teams left in college football.
Mhm.
BYU has kind of been one of those cardiac arrest teams. They give you a heart attack every week, but they do win, and they continue to win. And
Not until they play Texas Tech,
they
baby.
do have a mighty tough game this weekend in Lubbock against Texas Tech. That could potentially be your Big 12 bid on the line.
Yeah, a lot of tortillas gonna be flying there.
No, they got banned, man.
Aw.
Maybe though. I think they'll still do it, but
How do you hide a tortilla from a student? Just
yeah,
put it anywhere. Tortillas are flat
exactly.
and they're malleable, so like you can put it anywhere. Who's to stop? No, that guy threw the tortilla.
Yeah,
Don't look at
exactly.
my tortilla bag. But yeah, it's definitely going to be a really fun game. All right. Moving on to number 8, Texas Tech. We mentioned it earlier, but ranked 7 and then 8, BYU and Texas Tech, they played this week.
Two Big 12 teams, guys.
That's right.
Um, yeah, it should be a fun matchup this week. Texas Tech has a loss though; they can't afford a loss. Um,
Yeah.
so including the Big 12 championship, you know, there's a lot of wild cards still yet to be played in the Big 12. It's kind of a toss up for who gets that bid. If they have two
Yeah.
bids, who get those two bids.
Dude,
It's
yeah.
interesting to see.
Now that we're going through this list, there's so much that could happen. This
Oh
is
yeah.
oh my gosh.
I mean, I really
Yeah.
say like there's only 4 teams that are quote unquote locks, and they're not even fully locks. You have Ohio
Yeah.
State, Indiana, Texas A&M, and Alabama, and Texas A&M and Alabama they could find their way out, but
Yeah.
they probably are locks.
I think I
But
I hope
everyone
so
else
too.
is
Yeah.
it's free reign, man.
That's right. Good luck to you, Texas Tech versus BYU, and good luck to you, BYU, as
College
well.
game day.
Oh, yes, it is. All right. Next, we have the number 9, the Oregon Ducks.
Oregon. They actually do have a tougher schedule than most Big Ten teams in their Final Four. They're going at Iowa this week. Not a gimme with that Iowa defense. They're playing Minnesota, who has been impressive this year, and then they're playing USC, who's also been impressive this year. And then they're going to their rival at Washington in rivalry week, and that is not going to be a gimme at all. So Oregon has a lot of work ahead of them, but if they take care of business, they can maybe even afford one loss here. They should be cruising into the college football playoffs for the second year in a row.
Well, I see. The only hard competition I've seen them play is Indiana. So
Yeah.
I think the real test comes these 4 games. They can pull it off. That's impressive. They deserve to be in. But I think they have to fall to one of these.
Yeah, it looks pretty likely. I am interested to see how they do in that Washington game.
Yeah,
That's a
maybe.
big rivalry if you don't know, and it's at Washington. That's going to be a ruckus environment, and Washington's been pretty good this year, so I'm interested to see how that one works out for Oregon and company,
They still lose to USC too.
and
USC
USC, and
looks
honestly
good.
Minnesota and Iowa.
Yeah,
Um,
I
all these
don't
games are losable,
okay, Minnesota. Yeah, yeah,
for sure, but they've been impressive this year.
yeah.
And they've proven they can win on the road. They won in that crazy whiteout game at Penn State. Given Penn State's not as good this year,
Yeah,
but
this was before
this was
Coach
before. That
Fire.
was like when they were still kind of a top notch team.
That was during James Franklin there.
Yeah.
All right, good luck to you, Dante Moore. Moving on to number 10, we have up in South Bend the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
All
Ooh,
right, so
Indiana's popping off. We got Indiana over here, and we got another Indiana school.
yeah, just like last year, man. The state is popping in every
Yeah,
sport.
except basketball. Well,
Nah, it's getting
Purdue's there.
Purdue's there, and Indiana's gonna get better, and Notre
And the
Dame's getting better.
Pacers made it to the
Pacers, yeah.
finals.
Pros teams alike.
I mean,
Colts are
the
doing
Colts are
good.
doing all right. Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's been a fun time to be a fan of an Indiana team for sure. But Notre Dame, this is a big week for them
Yes.
because this sets the precedent that
An undefeated Navy.
they are number 10.
Mm-hmm.
If they continue to win out, they will be in. That was kind of a question thrown in the air. Maybe they'll be put at 11 or 12 or 13, and maybe they will have to have some teams lose to be in, have some chaos ensue. But no, if they win out, they are in. There's no two ways
Yes.
about that. And can they win out?
I I think they can, but what if like a two-loss SEC team? They're just like, oh,
Too late.
maybe. Yeah,
No,
they are
no. We
10.
saw this year
Yeah.
or last year that. I mean, obviously the committee can change the way they do things. They
Uh-huh.
they do that all the time, but
Yeah, these are just humans.
no. We saw last year that the committee is going to go with their previous ranking if they're on like a decision like that. Like if it was between Alabama and South Carolina last year on who was getting in the playoffs, they would have gone with Alabama because Alabama had been ranked ahead of them.
Oh, I see. That makes sense.
I don't know if that's a good example, but you get what I'm saying.
So yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Hopefully the viewer does. Um, but yeah, the this is a vote of confidence from the college football committee that Notre Dame does have a spot if they win out.
Yes. But it's. I mean, it's not.
I mean, I mean,
It's not an easy road.
I mean,
It's not hard, but it's not easy. You have to go. You have to play an undefeated
I
Navy
think
team.
Pitt is their hardest one.
Yeah,
But
for sure. Pitt's going to be a tough game. It's at Pitt. Yeah, Pitt's been pretty good this year.
yeah,
They've flown under the radar, but they've given a lot of teams some trouble. And yeah, that'll be a good game. Navy should be a win,
hmm
right?
they still play.
Syracuse should be a win.
Yeah,
Stanford should be a win.
I was high on Syracuse during the beginning of the year,
Yeah,
and then
just
they just tanked.
injuries
Yeah,
have plagued them.
I thought that NFL caliber staff over there would have done something, but it's all right. I think Notre Dame will beat them. All right.
Number 11, the Texas Longhorns. It's another SEC team, but looking at it now, they would have just missed the playoffs because an ACC champion and a Group of Five champion has to make it, and they would go over the Texas Longhorns. But that being said, Texas, if they run the table, they should be in.
Yeah, I mean, similar story with Notre Dame. 2 losses. If they win out, they're in.
But this is a much harder schedule coming up than
Yeah,
Notre Dame.
tell me about
At
it.
Georgia after the bye this week, they go to Georgia. That's a tough game to win. They haven't beat Georgia. That's kind of been their Achilles heel since coming into the SEC. Then you play a rival Arkansas. Not an easy game by any means, but you should win it. And then you go play Texas A&M at home. Gonna be a rough game. Gonna be a tough game, but you can win that one. You have the way they've been playing. They can win all three of these games, but they can if that old Texas team shows up, which is pretty likely, they could lose all three of these games, at
Yeah.
least, or at least one.
Well,
And one is good enough to get them out.
yeah. For sure they're beating Arkansas. I can tell you that much. But Georgia and Texas A&M, it's hard for me to see. I can see it, but it's just I don't think it's like a pinhole. I don't
Yeah,
know if they're gonna get
here's what
there.
I think. Or I think they lose to Georgia. I
Okay.
think they beat Arkansas, and I think they beat A&M.
Okay. I mean, Texas A&M would still be in the
Yeah,
college.
that's the thing. And maybe not though. Maybe they lose to Georgia and they kind of give up a little bit, let go of the rope a little bit,
Yeah,
saying
it's hard to stop that bleeding
because
once it
after
starts.
I think after you lose to Georgia, kind of like the players know you're probably not going to get in this thing.
Yeah. Um. So must-win game for them, for the college football
But they
playoffs.
do
So.
have a bye. They get
Mhm.
to prepare for Georgia a little bit. Um, you know, if we see the same Texas team that showed up for Vanderbilt and for that second half of Mississippi State, they can compete with anybody. If we
Yeah.
see that same Arch who's been just confident and slinging it, they can compete with anybody.
Yeah. Well, let's hope they do. Um. Not be Texas A&M, that is, but do what you want with Georgia.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
believe number 12 is the Oklahoma Sooners,
Another SEC team.
another CC team, but they would not. They would
Yeah.
also not make it. Um, if it started today, because the ACC champion and the Group of Five champion would have to make it.
Yes.
But
Despite the
they
12
control
teams
their own
making it.
destiny. Same thing with Notre Dame and
Yeah, you
Texas.
still got to get past Alabama, Missouri, and LSU. LSU looks beatable. We'll see how strong Missouri is after this weekend. When Texas A&M beats up on them, hopefully, knock on wood there. But Yeah, Oklahoma Sooners. Congratulations on them for being ranked 12.
I think we saw good things from that Tennessee game, things that I did not expect from the Oklahoma
Yeah,
Sooners. If they can keep that game same swagger out of the bye week to Alabama, pull that upset off, then they got a good chance. But I'd say this is probably not going to happen. I don't think Oklahoma's going to make it, but
yeah, I do.
they control their own destiny.
But if they beat Alabama, dude, that'd be wild. Absolutely wild.
All right, now let's go to the actual final teams here. 11 and 12 in the projections if it started today.
Yes.
Assuming Virginia, the top ranked ACC team, wins the ACC championship, they would be 11. And assuming Memphis is the top rated group of 5 team, according to the committee,
Because
they
they
would be
just beat
12.
Tulane, right? And
Yeah. So it's the group of 5, it was looking like strong at the beginning of the year. We had a lot of undefeateds. Teams have fallen, teams have faltered. Memphis is at the top right now of that group, even though they lost to a UAB team without a coach. But it's kind of a toss up for the group of 5 still. A lot of things could happen. A lot of things will happen. And Virginia, a toss up for the ACC. There's a lot of teams tied in the ACC for first, and it could be a number of teams coming from the ACC. It could be I don't know, like 3 or 4 or 5 of teams I could see.
yeah, the ACC is not too bright. But I'd cast the vote on Virginia.
Yeah, I mean the way they've been playing now, but it could be one of those situations where, like last year, Virginia goes in, 11-1, 12-0 to the ACC championship and then lose, and then they end up having to put 2 ACC teams in, and that kicks someone
Mm-hmm.
out. That would be rough for a team on the outskirts.
I mean, with this graphic shown on screen right now, um, for sure, I think Georgia's beating Memphis. Plays Alabama. What a classic! Just a rivalry
Yeah,
for great ages. There, it's going to be a great
that I've
game.
seen Georgia fans like, oh yay Memphis, and then Alabama, and they're like, oh.
Exactly. And then I would think Oregon moves on, and then Ole
Oregon,
Miss.
Texas Tech, that'd be a good game.
It is. I think it would be a great game. I think Ole Miss will move on from there. I think Notre Dame would beat BYU. That's a battle of the Mormons and the Catholics there.
Yeah, Catholics
That's
versus Mormons.
yeah, that'd be hilarious. And then we have a rematch of
Last
last
year's
year's,
playoff team.
yeah, but in the quarterfinals, not in the first round.
Yeah.
And I think Alabama's going to beat Georgia, and then I think Ohio State is beating Oregon. I think Texas A&M is beating Ole Miss, and I think, hear me out, hear me out. Indiana topples Notre Dame here.
I'm agree with you on one of those. I think A&M beats Ole Miss. I don't believe that Alabama will beat Georgia. I think Georgia will finally break that hump. And I think
Really?
these are obviously early
Yeah. No.
projections,
No.
guys.
Yeah. This is
I think Oregon pulls it off against Ohio State, to be honest. And then I think Notre Dame beats Indiana.
that.
A lot
Okay.
of
Yeah.
upsets there,
Crazy.
but guys, I
Okay.
just the way that this is obviously but based on how they're playing right now, the way that I feel that they're playing right now, I just that's what I see.
I yeah.
Um,
But what Indiana and Notre Dame? What?
that's a great game. Uh, Two teams that like right now are
Mm-hmm.
playing at pretty high levels. I'd say they're 2 of the top 5 teams the way they're playing right now. Um, and I'd say Indiana's probably a little bit of a better team on paper.
Yeah.
But I think I've liked what I've seen from Notre Dame, and I've seen them against better
The best running
opponents
back in the nation.
this year. And yeah, I think they kind of just have that. I don't want to say coaching edge, but I just feel like they have a little bit of an edge.
Like a physicality edge, or
Maybe I don't know. That's kind of like it's kind of a feeling pick on this one. I think they're pretty even teams, but I just feel like Notre Dame kind of has just some sort of edge over Indiana.
well, see, I think during the original, like the first one, first round last year, it was at Notre Dame Stadium,
Yeah,
so they gave them an edge. I think with this, it's going to be a bowl game,
yeah.
so neutral field. I understand Notre Dame fans travel well, but Indiana is just looking dominant.
Well, here's the thing. Those were 2 different teams last year.
Mhm.
Um, Notre Dame was going to destroy Indiana no matter where they played.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Indiana was not the same team that they are this year. This year they're a much better team. This year Notre Dame's probably a little worse, but
hmm
they're still a really good team. And it's hard to argue that Indiana's not the better team. I just feel like Notre Dame finds a way to pull it out. they find that like that winning mentality, that winning edge that they got, and they find a way to pull it out. But
Yeah, exactly. All right. Okay. Um, I would have Alabama beating Georgia, and then yeah, I already went through that. So Alabama and Ohio State, that's gonna be a hard one, but I'm gonna have to edge with Alabama. Like, uh, my mind could fully be changed after these
I'd
four
agree with it.
weeks of football. But from what I've seen, like Ohio State has looked dominant
They
with
just haven't played
middle
enough
tier,
people.
yeah,
Yeah,
opponents. Alabama has played a really hard SEC schedule. I think they're better. And Texas A&M and M and Indiana for me, um, I would have to. Hurts me to say this, but go with Texas A&M. I think the Aggies grind it out. They find the winning mentality. They have so many weapons. I get Indiana does too, but just by the narrowest of hairs.
wow.
Listen to this. We have an all SEC championship. Two glorious fan bases. Ooh, rumble for the ages. And I will have to go with Alabama. Now, I think Alabama will be the national champions.
That hurt to say for him.
Yeah, it did. It did. But
Um,
that's just what I feel.
I really hope that doesn't happen. I really hope A&M doesn't make it
I
to the championship.
cannot have
That would
Ohio
suck.
State winning a championship this year. I
Yeah, that would
cannot let that
suck.
happen.
I genuinely don't believe that will happen.
Yeah.
I don't think they're that. They're good. They're great. Don't get me wrong. I don't see it in them. We've talked about it in earlier episodes. I think the champion's going to be a team that kind of has a couple losses, maybe one or two.
Hmm.
They have that edge built up. That mentality, and candidates for that are like Notre Dame and
Yes. No, that is true.
other teams like that, maybe Alabama even. But I think the team to make it all the way will, have faced some adversity throughout the season.
And guess who's faced some adversity? Alabama did.
They did, and they're looking great right now.
Mm.
But
And what Andrew is referring to is last year's champion, Ohio State, lost
lost,
2 games.
yeah, they definitely faced some adversity.
Yes.
Um,
But they still won the national championship.
yes. Going off this though, I think Georgia would beat Oregon. And then I don't. I think that game would be close. I think Georgia would like kind of pull away in the final moments though, and then I think um Notre Dame would beat Texas A&M. They played earlier this year.
Revenge game.
Yeah, I think Notre Dame
Get
gets
to
that
learn a couple
revenge. I think
things. Again, it's going to be a neutral field, though, you know?
neutral field. I think Aggies would probably have a little more fans. I think it would be like a 60-40 type there. And then I think for the national championship, Notre Dame and Georgia also a rematch. I guess giving you Notre Dame in that scenario.
Okay.
Now that I'm playing it out here, I didn't realize I would do that, but yeah, I mean, I guess if that's how it's going to end up, if that's
Yeah.
how this is going to be,
That's the
I
fun of
guess
this, putting you on the
I
spot.
guess Notre Dame would be my
Wow.
champion, but yeah,
I could go Irish.
go Irish indeed. I just want to say though, I kind of hope A&M loses just so we can get
Interesting.
that Kyle Field atmosphere in the playoffs. That'd be awesome.
Oh, man, that would be so good.
Because right now they have a bye and you don't get that.
And that would fuel my theory of every bye team losing like they did last year.
Yeah.
And, we only have one data point of last year to go off of. So I'm really leaning onto it.
Yeah, no, it's that's the fun thing about this new age. We don't know really what's going to happen at all.
Oh, man, I'm here for it. There's countless years of entertainment coming our way.
But man, yeah, Georgia.
If YouTube TV would fix their crap. But anyways,
A Georgia home game in the playoffs would be so fun. A Texas Tech home game in the playoffs would be fun. Ole Miss would be fun. BYU would definitely be fun. But I'm kind of hoping some of these big teams lose with great atmospheres, just so we can get
you
those
know what?
atmospheres
A
in the playoffs.
Memphis home field game would be so fun.
Yeah, they'd have some chaos to happen for that.
Yeah, some deep chaos. And it's it's possible.
It is possible.
Even though they're I guess I'll spoil a bit of the rankings. They're not in the top 25 of the CFP rankings.
No, they are not.
So,
So yeah, I think that's pretty much all we got to say, isn't it?
oh yeah. That was really fun, man.
Yeah. Thanks for watching.